I'd just briefly like to talk about the different file types that ArchiCAD generates. This number has been reduced at the moment because Plotmaker is now included within ArchiCAD. So if you open a new project in ArchiCAD and save it, the saved file becomes a .pln file, a plan file. Now if the option is checked, it will also automatically create a backup file, and this is a BPN file. This is just backing up this PLN file. It's just a copy, and this option can be checked or unchecked in ArchiCAD. So if it doesn't produce it automatically, you can check a checkbox and it will automatically create the backup. Then later on, as you're working, you might want to archive a file, and to archive a file it will save all the library parts and everything that's necessary to open that PLN file and BPN file. It bundles it all into one file so it can be opened on any computer with no missing parts. Finally, if we save a file that is referenced to ArchiCAD, or you want to link ArchiCAD to another file, that becomes a .mod file, and we'll go over that a bit later. And also, if you actually create an individual library part for your ArchiCAD project, or any library part for that matter, becomes a .gsm. Now these two files you don't really use much and you don't really see there in the background, but it's important to know about them. Next, we're just going to talk about the way we arrange our files on the computer so nothing gets lost and everything stays in an orderly sort of fashion. First of all, when you start a job in ArchiCAD, rather than start from the default settings all the time, you should start from a template file or a PLN file, and this can be just from a blank file that sits on the desktop, or through the ArchiCAD startup dialog choose a template file, and this template file will be something that you develop, and it's an ongoing evolution of a file. So your layers will get better, your pen settings will get better, and anything else that's important to your business keeps getting put into that template file and keeps getting developed, and then you'll become quicker and quicker at your jobs or your output that you're trying to put out. So this job template file or PLN file that we start our ArchiCAD jobs from should sit in a job template folder in the model folder, just sitting in here. Now every time you start a new job, you would copy this job template folder, which is easily accessible, perhaps from your desktop, copy and paste it into an ArchiCAD jobs folder that sits on the hard drive. This way, all the files that are associated to this particular job never get lost and are always easily accessible, and you've obviously always got a consistent protocol that you're actually using. So in the job template folder, you'd have 6 folders set in there, and you'd have your model folder, which is where you keep your ArchiCAD file, which is your PLN file, and your BPN file, your backup file. Under that you have a second folder for any plots or documentation that you would create from this file, and they sit in there. They can be PDFs, DWFs, or whatever format you like to publish in. Then in the third folder you might have library parts or modules that are associated to this project and get them to sit in there. Then a fourth folder for any presentation stuff that is associated with this particular project. So you've got QuickTime movies, AVIs, pictures, Photoshop files, JPEGs, bitmaps, whatever. And then another file, number 5, is for miscellaneous items that correspond with this job. You've got PDFs, Word documents, DWGs that you might get from engineers, Excel spreadsheets, DWFs, any sort of document that is associated to this project. And of course, there's an archives file, so if you get to a certain stage in a job, you want to archive your job, you archive it and give it the correct name. Now this system is just a suggestion and by no means the only way to go about organising your files, but it's a good start and perhaps the basis that everyone can build their file management system on.